I never thought I'd be the guy posting something like this. But here I am, typing this at 2:47 a.m. while my wife is asleep in the other room, like nothing in our lives is falling apart. We've been married for 7 years, together for 10, high school sweethearts. Everyone always said we were that couple, the stable one, the boring one, the safe one. And honestly, I like that. I like predictable. I like coming home to her messy bun and oversized hoodie. I liked knowing what my life would look like in 5 years. Or at least, I thought I did. Looking back, the first signs were small enough that I brushed them off. She started guarding her phone like it was classified government property. Face down, always on silent. Password changed twice in 3 months. She'd go to Target and be gone for 3 hours. Started working late, even though her job never required overtime before. And the biggest one, she stopped looking at me the same way. No more random hugs. No more "I miss you" texts. No more initiating anything. When I asked, she'd sigh and say I was being insecure, that I was smothering her, that I needed to work on myself. And like an idiot, I believed her. I started going to the gym more, buying nicer clothes, trying harder. I thought I was the problem. The actual discovery was so stupid and random that I still feel embarrassed admitting it. My phone died at work. Completely dead. I forgot my charger. I texted her from a coworker's phone asking if she could bring mine. She said she was busy. Fine. Whatever. When I got home later, I asked if I could borrow her phone to check an email. She froze. Not dramatically. Just paused. Half a second too long. Then she said, "Why? Yours works." I told her it didn't. She rolled her eyes and handed it over. And that's when I saw it. A notification popped up at the top of her screen. "I miss you. Today was perfect. Can't wait to feel you again." From a name I didn't recognize. No heart emoji. No nickname. Just a normal male name. My stomach dropped so hard I thought I might throw up. I clicked it before she could grab the phone back. I know that's wrong. I know. But in that moment, I needed to know. And there it was. Months of messages. Sexting. Plans. Hotel photos. Voice notes. Inside jokes. Complaints about me. About how emotionally exhausting I was. About how she only stayed because divorce is messy. One message literally said, "He's more like a roommate now." I felt like someone punched me in the chest. I looked up at her and just said, "Who is this?" She didn't even pretend not to know. She sighed like I had just asked her to take out the trash. She tried to take the phone back. I held it. She snapped, "Give it to me." I said, "Are you cheating on me?" She laughed. Actually laughed. Said, "Wow, you're being dramatic." Then she switched tactics. Said he was just a friend. That they vent. That I'm hard to talk to. I read her own messages out loud. Word for word. Her face changed. Not to guilt. To anger. She said I violated her privacy. That I was controlling. That if I hadn't been so distant, she wouldn't have needed someone else. Then she cried. Real tears. Said she felt lonely. Said she didn't think I still loved her. Said it wasn't serious. Said it only happened twice. Later I found out it was more like 20 times. Different cities, different hotels. While I was home cooking dinner for one, thinking she was stuck in traffic. After that night, nothing felt real anymore. We slept in the same bed, backs turned, like strangers who accidentally booked the same hotel room. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened. Made coffee. Asked if I wanted eggs. I just stared at her and thought, how can someone shatter your entire reality and then worry about breakfast? When I brought it up again, she got irritated. Said, we already talked about this. We absolutely had not. We had argued, cried, yelled, and gone to sleep exhausted. That's not talking. That's emotional warfare. Over the next few days, her story kept changing. First, it was only emotional. Then it was physical but meaningless. Then I was planning to end it anyway. Then he manipulated me. Then, actually, you pushed me into it. Every version somehow made me the villain. She'd say things like, You're lucky I'm even staying, or most women would have left you already. At one point, she told me I should be grateful she didn't leave me for him. Grateful for being cheated on. A week later, another twist. I got a message on Instagram from a woman I didn't know. She asked if I was married to my wife. I said yes. She sent screenshots. Turns out the guy my wife was seeing had a girlfriend, and my wife knew. They had joked about it, made fun of her, called her clingy. Reading those messages broke something inside me. It wasn't just betrayal. It was cruelty. She wasn't confused. She wasn't lonely. She was careless with people's lives. When I confronted her with this, she exploded, screaming, throwing pillows, said the girl was crazy, said she photoshopped things. Then, 10 minutes later, admitted it was true, but said it's not like I owed her anything. No remorse, no shame, just justification after justification. Meanwhile, I was falling apart. I stopped eating, lost 12 pounds in a month, couldn't focus at work. I'd sit in my car during lunch and just stare at the steering wheel. I replayed everything in my head, every late night, every canceled date, every time she snapped at me for no reason. It all made sense now, and that hurt more than not understanding, because it meant she chose to lie to my face every single day. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. shaking, heart racing, imagining her with him, imagining them laughing about me, imagining how stupid I must have looked trusting her. She noticed I was breaking, and instead of comforting me, she used it. If I cried, she'd say I was manipulating her. If I asked questions, she'd say I was obsessed. If I wanted reassurance, she'd accuse me of trying to control her. She even told mutual friends that I was emotionally unstable and making things up. I found that out when one of them awkwardly asked if everything was okay at home. I felt humiliated, isolated, like I was losing not just my wife, but my entire support system. At one point, she told me, if you keep acting like this, I might as well go back to him. And the worst part? I begged her not to. I hated myself for that, but I was terrified of being alone, of admitting my marriage was dead, of starting over at 34. Then came the final twist. I found out she never stopped seeing him, working late again, girls' night, helping a coworker. One night, I checked our shared iPad. She forgot it was synced. Messages popped up, new ones, recent ones, same guy, same hotels, same lies, while telling me she was trying to rebuild trust. She was actively destroying what little I had left. When I confronted her this time, I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, I know. She looked scared for the first time, really scared, started apologizing, promising therapy, promising change, promising anything. But it was too late. Something in me had gone quiet. I felt empty instead of angry. And somehow that was clarity. That night, I packed a bag. Just essentials. Clothes. Laptop. Documents. I went to my brother's place. Slept on his couch and cried into a pillow like a kid. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Filed for separation. When I told her, she flipped again. Called me heartless. Said I was giving up. Said I'd regret it. Said no one would ever love me like she did. And I realized she was right about one thing. No one would ever love me like she did. And thank God for that. It's been 8 months now. The divorce is almost final. Some days still hurt. Some nights I still dream about her and wake up angry at myself. But I'm healing. I'm eating again, laughing again, making plans. I learned that love without respect is just slow destruction. That manipulation can look like affection. That staying too long can hurt more than leaving. If you're reading this and you feel that pit in your stomach, trust it. Don't let someone convince you that your pain is imaginary. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You deserve honesty and peace. After I moved out, I thought the worst was over. I was wrong. That was just the beginning of the aftershocks. At first, she tried to be friendly. Texted me things like, hope you're okay, miss our talks. No one knows me like you. She'd send old photos of us, vacation pics, wedding pics, random screenshots of happy memories. At first, I almost fell for it. I'd stare at those photos and think, maybe I overreacted. Maybe we could fix this. Maybe I'm throwing away 10 years. Then, like clockwork, the tone would flip. If I didn't respond fast enough, she'd get cold. Wow, guess I don't matter anymore. So this is how easy it is for you to move on. I knew you never really loved me. It was emotional whiplash. 1 minute nostalgia, the next minute guilt. Then I found out she had already moved in with him. 2 months after I left. 2 months. A mutual friend slipped and mentioned it casually, thinking I already knew. Apparently, she had been planning it for a while. That sentence hurt more than anything. For a while, meaning while we were still married, while I was begging her to choose me, while I was losing weight from stress, while I was blaming myself. She had already decided. I confronted her. She said, it just happened naturally, like it was weather, like she tripped and fell into his apartment. Another twist. He cheated on her too, 3 months into their relationship, with a coworker. I found out because she called me sobbing at midnight. Full breakdown. Saying he betrayed her. Saying she finally understood my pain. Saying karma is real. Saying she wanted to come over and talk. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I told her I was sorry she was hurting, but I couldn't be her emotional safety net anymore. She got quiet, then angry, said, so you're really done with me? Like she couldn't believe I wasn't available on demand anymore. That call messed me up for weeks. Part of me felt validated. Part of me felt cruel for feeling validated. Part of me wanted to run back and say, see, now we're even. But I didn't. I stayed where I was, in my tiny apartment, with mismatched furniture, with peace, with silence that didn't feel threatening anymore. I started therapy around that time. Best decision I've made in years. Turns out, I had been minimizing myself for most of my relationship, avoiding conflict, apologizing when I wasn't wrong, accepting disrespect because at least she's still here. My therapist once asked me, when was the last time you felt truly safe with her? I couldn't answer. Not one clear memory. That realization hit hard. 6 months later, she tried one last time. Showed up at my door unannounced. Crying. Said she messed everything up. Said she missed our life. Said she'd go to therapy now. Said she'd change now. Said she finally realized what she lost. I looked at her and felt nothing. No rage. No love. No longing. Just sadness for both of us. I told her I forgave her, but I wasn't coming back. She stared at me like I had slapped her. Then she said quietly, "You're different." And I realized she was right. I wasn't desperate anymore. I wasn't scared anymore. Now, a year later, I'm okay. Not movie happy. Not everything is perfect. Just stable. Real. I have friends I actually talk to. Hobbies I enjoy. Mornings I don't dread. I've started dating slowly. Carefully. With boundaries. With honesty. With self-respect. I don't ignore red flags anymore. I don't try to fix people who hurt me. I listen to my instincts now. If I could go back and talk to the version of me who first saw that message pop up on her phone, I'd tell him this. You're about to go through hell. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to feel small. You're going to beg for love that isn't real. But you're going to survive. And one day, you'll wake up and realize you're free. So if you're reading this and you're in something similar, please hear me. Love shouldn't make you feel anxious all the time. It shouldn't make you feel replaceable. It shouldn't make you question your worth. Cheating is a choice. Lying is a choice. Cruelty is a choice. And you don't have to accept it just because you once loved someone. This was the hardest lesson of my life, but it saved me